Hello, people. Honey here for the day, and I'm just going to talk about, or I'm going to give a reaction to Mayor Frey on what's going on in Minneapolis concerning the George Floyd protest. Now, I'm not one of those people who dive into all these things that are going on, all these police brutality, the police murders and stuff like that for the media, because there's so much going on that you want to believe that it's fake news. I was one that would always say it was fake news, and still not sure, but I would always call it fake news is because you have people like George Soros, who sponsors the Black Matters movement. I'm not sure if he's the sole sponsor or anything like that, but I know he puts in one of the, like when I was watching the Fall Cabal docu-series, it shows that he invested, I think, $33 million in the Black Lives Matter movement, but he was doing it for all the wrong reasons. He was trying to actually make that movement look fucking bad, as they always try to do. So, and how he did that was you had Black Lives Matter people, you had Black Lives Matter protesting, and then George Soros would send in people, pay people to go in dressed exactly like the Black Lives Matter people, but they were doing just pure bullshit like fighting and shit like that. And that got so out of hand that these motherfuckers forgot that they forgot who they were actually supposed to be rioting against. They were supposed to be like, say, for instance, Black Lives Matter movement, they were the yellow vest, the yellow safety vest that, with the reflectors and stuff like on it. So George Soros paid people to wear those vests, go in and act like they're Black Lives Matter, but create violence. Fighting police officers, fighting protests. But these dumb assholes got so into, and they were probably high, got so into their role that they forgot who the fuck they were supposed to be attacking and started attacking other real Black Lives Matter protesters with the same fucking yellow jackets y'all got on. Y'all forgot y'all supposed to be one of them. So that that threw itself out. So now we know that people are actually sending people in to act like they're cutting a fucking fool and act like that they're with the protesters, which they are fucking not. They're not even part. And one thing that I'd like to say is when I was watching this, while I'm watching these things in the police precinct burning and stuff like that and the loot going on, one thing that I can say is I am so happy that I'm not seeing African Americans looting. I don't know. I'm sure that, don't get me wrong, you would think that it was the African Americans mostly out with the protesters because this was a Black man that was murdered in front of them. But from what I'm seeing mostly Caucasians looting and running through the streets. And even when throwing stuff on the fire at the police station, I'm not seeing any Black hands at all. I'm just seeing, Caucasians, just like getting shot with the rubber bullets all the way on the front line. I'm seeing those are Caucasians doing that, throwing stuff in the fire. I'm not seeing any African Americans doing that. I do see some running through the streets. And I did see one coming with some clothes and had tags on. So I'm sure they were looting. But for the most part, I'm not seeing the African American community doing the violence here. I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm just not seeing that from what the news is captioning. Also, they're staying pretty far away from this police precinct that's burning. One angle that they showed, I could have sworn I saw Chinese or Asian writing on the wall, and that doesn't make sense for it to be in Minneapolis. So that made me think, is this even Minneapolis? Hell, is this even America, what I'm looking at right now? So this is where we go with the fake news and them trying to pump up shit that really ain't fucking happening. If you're from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and there really is a precinct burning, hey, let us know in the comments. Yeah, it really is burning, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But we're not in Minneapolis, so we don't know what's going on. So we can only go by what the news is telling us. And right now, I'm not seeing anything. And granted, I've never been to Minneapolis, Minnesota, but the helicopters are staying far enough to where you can't even read anything. I don't even know what the city looks like. So can someone tell me, is there a big ass water tower sitting next to the police station? Because that's what I saw on the news, but it was dark. But I could clearly see there's a big ass water tower. So for me, that looked like it was a foreign country. Hey, I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But to me, that looked like a foreign city. And that was in a foreign country. It didn't look like Minneapolis, Minnesota to me. And like I said, I could be wrong, but it's just how it looked. It doesn't look real. And it could be. So I'm not saying that it's not. Please, I'm definitely not saying that. The purpose of me making this video today is I was watching the first time. I just went ahead and was watching the Mayor Frey. And this man seems so genuinely concerned and genuinely upset about what happened in his state or city, town, whatever. And I just had to bring that to you because this man seems genuinely concerned, upset, hurt. The look on his face is of despair, almost defeat. We really need to pray for him because he is up against something. I'm sure he doesn't have enough power to fight. And what I mean by that is he stated he wants the officer charged with murder. And that's all good and dandy. So do we all. But there are power. I'm sure you know, just like we know, there are the powers that be that are higher than you probably are not going to let that happen. But I just wanted to, if you guys didn't get to see this video, I don't know if someone can show me how to get this video up on the bottom of my screen, or I can put it up and then I can mirror me at the bottom so we can all watch at the same time. I'm new to this, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Someone please assist me if you can. So for right now, I've just been putting my phone up to the computer so you guys can see. And when I tell you this mayor wants to make, he just, I want to cry. I want to cry. He's making me want to cry. You can just see his facial expression. Nothing about that, nothing about this face says that this man was on the side with the police. Nothing about this face says this man does not really want justice because he's got hoodlums tearing his town up and not showing the proper respect, or not showing the proper respect for one of their fellow neighbors. You're supposed to be protesting, not tearing up your neighborhoods. What are the fires going to get you? They're not going to bring Mr. Floyd back. We understand you're upset. The whole world is upset of what's going on. The whole world has been upset for years about how Black men have been treated by white policemen. So one thing that we can say, and one thing that we have seen and learned, that burning and looting does nothing except take away from your neighborhood. Like, they're only going to get you to pay more taxes to replace it. So for me wanting to pay for that stuff out of my own pocket, I'm not trying to ruin shit like that. You know, that's, I would like to take more pride than that in my neighborhood. And you should be taking more pride in that in your neighborhood. You should be focusing your anger towards the police, not Target, not the liquor store. These things like that make me think that this is where the paid actors come in and start doing things like that. You see? Because it's easy. Number one, this is a Black man who's been killed. So you're assuming all Blacks are out here acting like fucking animals, running into Target and stealing clothes because a Black man was killed. That doesn't make sense. And granted, some people are doing that, but trust and believe that's not the prime thing. Oh yeah, he killed, so let's go and run and bum rush Target. No, I think those are, and that's my opinion, not yours, mine. Some of those are paid actors. And we've seen them all the time, paid crisis workers and stuff like that. And like I said, with George Soros sending fake Black Lives Matter protesters in to create violence. So to try to make that movement actually look bad. So what I'm going to do is just take some time and we're just going to listen to him. And I want you to hear how he makes sure you hear the questions. He repeats the questions back and he gives an answer. We're not going to listen to all of it. We might, but if it seems like I need to ad lib on some shit, I will, because this is a wonderful interview. And he did it as fair and as honest as he possibly could. So we're just going to listen to this and hear what he says. Don't the internet suck? You try it when you need it. All right, hold on. Here we go.
More often than not, it's events in our city that shape us. There are precedents and protocols sitting in the reserves of institutions just like this one that will give you about 1,000 reasons not to do something, not to speak out, not to act so quickly. And I've wrestled with, more than anything else over the last 36 hours, one fundamental question. Why is the man who killed George Floyd not in jail? If you had done it, or I had done it, we would be behind bars right now.
There you go.
And I cannot come up with a good answer to that question.
Exactly. Let's pause it there for a minute. Exactly. And it's a shame that, and this is common sense, because everyone knows this. Had you or I been out and did that and pressed our neck up against some fucking body, we would have been under the goddamn jail. Well, if you'd been black, you'd have been under the jail. Had you been anyone else, you most likely would have been arrested. But just because you're a cop, and this is the part that fucks me up with cops, we're paying your salary. And you think you can come into our neighborhoods and treat us like fucking animals? If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have no fucking job. So that's the part that I don't understand. How do you come and disrespect the people who's paying your fucking salary? You choose to go work in these neighborhoods. You could have went and worked in your own neighborhood, in your own township as a cop. No, you chose to go work in the black neighborhoods. Why? Why? And the one thing that I've been seeing a pattern of is the Caucasian cops who choose to work in black neighborhoods were the ones that were bullied in school, were the loners, didn't have a job after high school. You still lived at home with your mom and your parents made you go get a job. But you couldn't just go get a regular job, look like anybody else. You knew someone, or your parents knew someone, and got you on the police force. No fucking intentions of being a good cop at all. No, just to get the fuck out of mommy and dad's house. So now you get out here. You want a job that you don't even fucking like, because you don't even want to be at work. Then you go to work and you got people talking to you like you are nothing, or talking back to you because you're talking to them like you have this big power that you don't, and then you get mad, and then it turns to a big old racial thing, because what you didn't realize at first was you was a fucking racist. See, if you're a fucking loner with no friends, you need to look inside yourself and see what the fuck is wrong. Why don't you have any friends? Don't you have something in common with anybody? And if you don't like other races outside of your own, I think you should, and you want to be a cop, stay in your own fucking neighborhood, because the shit's going to spill out. What's done in the dark shall come to light. So all the hate you've been portraying on other races is going to spill out when you decide to take a job working with other races. Now, does that even fucking make sense? You're your own downfall. You're your own failure. And this is why when you have nothing but bad intentions on mind, the Lord will stop you all the time. All the time. Everything comes back to the Bible. Anything and everything you do will always come back to the Bible. So if you're not living right, your time is coming. Your time is coming to it. It's coming. It's coming to a head. It's coming to a nice head, and we're gonna pop it. We're gonna pop it as soon as it comes to the surface. There's no reason why you had to get a white man up on this TV and tell us something that the whole world already knows. A cop has got his knee. A white cop has got his knee on a black man's neck while he's in handcuffs on the ground and telling the cop that he cannot breathe. What other, and then he dies. What part of fucking murder doesn't that scream? Now let's flip-flop that. Now, had that been a black cop on a white man's neck, which it wouldn't have been because we're not animals like that, I'm sure that black cop would have been under the goddamn ground. I'm sure the neighborhood would have probably attacked him where he stood. I'm sure the other cops would have told him to get the fuck off of that man. So where's the justice? Why can't everybody be treated fairly? We all do the same shit the same way. We all eat shit and piss the same fucking way. We all got penises. We all got vaginas. We all got breasts. We all got mouths. We all got feet. We all got teeth. We got fingers, hands, hair, mouths, nose, eyes, ears, everything. Just different by the color of our fucking skin. We all have children. We all discipline our fucking children. We all raise our children some. We all love our children some. We all value our children some. But most. So outside of the color of the fucking skin, where's the difference? We all eat food and eat it to survive. Where's the difference? You think when God put us all here, he said, oh, well, I want y'all all to hate each other. That's why I made y'all different. No. I'm sure he made us all different because even within the races, we're different. And that's for you to accept the differences. Nobody's perfect. You're not living how God wants you to live. You're destroying the earth, destroying the world with racism. It hurts. It hurts. And now I understand why people don't even want to have children. And it's a shame when you regret having children because they got to grow up in this world. You understand? It's just so much. So much. This isn't love. This is not love. Y'all letting the devil take over and rule. Read your Bibles. Pick it up. Pick it up. We're going to go back to this mayor because he's deep. We'll listen to some.
Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman to act on the evidence before him. I'm calling on him to charge the arresting officer in this case. We cannot turn a blind eye. It is on us as leaders to see this for what it is and call it what it is.
Murder.
George Floyd deserves justice.
Yes, he does.
His family deserves justice. The black community deserves justice.
America deserves justice.
And our city deserves justice.
We shouldn't be divided by fucking race.
I'll stand for any questions.
Now, this is where it gets good.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
You said the officer killed him. What about the others?
evidence that I have before me right now, which I hesitate to speak on in depth, given the fact that I ultimately want a charging decision to move forward, is somewhat limited to the video evidence that is there. And I do not want to get into the fundamentals of different classifications of murder. I do not want to get into the fundamentals of any one specific charge for any one individual. What I can say with certainty, based on what I saw, is that the individual, the officer who had his knee on the neck of George Floyd should be charged. And I'm calling on Hennepin County Attorney
Damn
to do
right.
it.
Do you want to wait this? Hey, Mayor, can we just pause 1 second? The audio okay on the live stream? Okay, do you want to wait? I mean, do you need to see the cause of death? We don't have a public cause of death at this point. That an hour after the incident, you need, obviously, by saying where you are, you don't need to wait. But could you explain why that's not important in making a criminal charging decision?
I'm not going to weigh in on the evidence. I know there's clearly more evidence to come, but I will say that based on what I saw in the video, this is the decision that I am making. Obviously, as not a prosecutor myself.
Exactly.
Mike Freeman, is he open to this idea?
I have relayed my call to action to the Hennepin County Attorney, Mike Freeman. Yes.
What do you want to see this officer charged with specifically?
I want to see a charge take place. I want to see justice for George Floyd, and me commenting on either the evidence, obviously much of which is not out yet, and or a specific charge would inhibit that measure. So again, I want to see the charge of the arresting officer take place, but if we want to see that charge, it would not be wise for me to provide the specifics of a form of murder.
And Mayor, would you just repeat the question?
Yes, I will. I apologize.
Mayor, multiple council members have raised questions about the way police reacted to the protest last night. Where were you during those protests, and what role did you play in determining how police responded to them?
Thank you for the question. The question from Liz was, what role did I play in responding to the protests that were occurring last night?
I love when he repeats the questions.
I'd like to speak a little more broadly about this as well. So right now, more than ever, I get the need to protest. I fully understand and appreciate it. People need a way to vent, especially in a time of so much sorrow and anger.
Yes.
And I'm not a parent yet, but I will be soon.
And you heard the sigh.
And I can't begin to grasp the mix of emotions, of anger, of sadness that so many parents of black children have through our city, and what they must feel in putting their child to bed. Without knowing what cards they will be dealt, and not knowing how their safety might be put at risk.
And how many times have you heard a mayor say that?
Nobody out there will fight harder for the First Amendment protections and freedom of speech than I will. Nobody will fight harder for those rights to protest than I will. But
he
those
sounds
rights,
so just...
they must stop when others' public safety are put at risk.
And that's true too.
The cars and the buildings
he's overwhelmed.
that were broken into in some form had live guns and ammo in them. And I spoke with our Chief Arredondo last night, who is an exceptional leader in our black community and known as an exceptional chief nationwide. And he told me that he could not run the risk of one tragedy leading to another. Our chief made the decision, and I support our chief. I trust his judgment. And there's an inherent tension, there's an inherent problem in this world of sound bites, where those who are protesting peacefully get lumped in with those that are not. where those who are policing compassionately get lumped in with those who are not.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I want to commend the 99% of protesters that were there last night doing so in a peaceful manner.
See that? So only 1% was
We need
doing
to
the
be
bullshit.
straightforward. We need to be straightforward and honest.
And
with
I wonder
people
where that 1%
100%
came from.
of the time. We need to continue to be calling on our better angels, especially during this time where one crisis is sandwiched in on another. I'm committed to doing that. Next question.
No mayor has ever publicly called on a prosecutor to bring criminal charges against him.
You hear this? Listen.
What went through your mind? What went into this decision to come up here and do it?
The question was that stated that no mayor has ever publicly called for the prosecution of one of his or her own officers before, at least in, like you said, in our state.
And ain't that a damn shame?
And the question is, what went into that decision?
Right.
Now listen to his answer. Common sense.
Now, I mentioned earlier that there are protocols, there is guidance, there's precedent that is almost instilled in the walls of these institutions like city government as if it were mortar. And so many of those protocols say that you shouldn't act quick. You shouldn't make a decisive decision. You shouldn't speak out. And they'll give you 1,000 reasons why that guidance is given. But there was one question in my mind that I could not answer. If I'm tasked with being honest with people, which I do promise to be, how could I argue? How could I not speak out when an offense took place that you or I or many other people through our city would have been behind bars if they did? Yet this particular individual, this officer, was not.
Yeah, exactly.
I could not answer that question, and because of that, I felt I had to speak out.
Right.
And by the way,
Listen.
black men have been put in prison before for far, far less.
Yes, indeed. And listen.
One of the early police reports from the scene described some fighting, that he resisted arrest. Have you seen any evidence of that has been borne out? Obviously, we've seen the videos from surveillance cameras. Mayor Frey.
He sounds like someone who's tired of hearing of the bullshit against African American men. And we need to pray for him because somebody's going to be coming for his life. Somebody's not going to want to hear
George
that.
Floyd resisted arrest in some form. I have not seen any evidence.
It's probably somebody whose first initial starts with a K and the middle initials is a K and their last name is a K. But I'm just saying, that's normally what the police department is, right? Because they damn sure act like it.
Presence at that specific grocery store at that specific time.
Listen,
Why police felt so compelled to
why 8 for a supposed bad check?
The question was, I'll try to repeat what you said. It seems that a counterfeit bill would not require such heavy police presence. And why was there such heavy police presence there at the
For
time?
a counterfeit bill.
No, I do not know. I cannot speak to that.
Exactly. And no one could. That's the part that makes you think something doesn't stand right. And I'd
like
on
to
to
release
that
it
later.
as soon as is possible, while not compromising the investigation, but more importantly, the charge that I do.
Right. Can't get him to say too much.
The investigation itself is in the hands of the BCA right now, and actually there are other investigative bodies as well. The FBI being.
I want y'all to hear what he says
we're looking at the legal
about
logistics of how exactly
the cops' maneuver.
But again, we want to be as transparent as possible.
I want you to hear what he says about that.
There's every reason
knee
to
on
provide
that
the
neck.
public with the truth. There's also every reason to make sure that this investigation takes place in a way where we can get to a charging decision as soon as possible.
You mentioned you were calling on local authorities to charge the officer. Are you taking a position on how federal investigators should handle their portion of this?
The question was, so I'm calling on local authorities to make a decision and to come forward with a charge of the arresting officer. The question is whether I'm asking federal authorities to do the same. My understanding is that the charging decision lies with the Hennepin County Attorney.
Mm-hmm.
To the extent that I'm wrong, and there is a charging decision that also lies with other bodies of government, yeah, I'm calling on that too.
Are we talking 1 week? Are we talking 48 hours, 2 weeks? I know you don't want to compromise the investigation, but surely you're under pressure and you must have a preference on that.
It is a fair question. The question was, what are we talking about in time? Are we talking about 3 days, 2 weeks? Michelle, to the extent I could give you an answer on that, I would. I do not know. I would like to see that footage released as soon as possible. If we could do so in a way where we could ensure that investigation was not compromised, the charging decision was moved forward with in the very near future, I'd do it right away.
And are you confident that Mike Freeman, given how closely Hennepin County prosecutors work with the police and the recent history of prosecuting the MPD, are you confident that that decision will withstand scrutiny?
So the question was, withstand scrutiny of who?
Maybe have bias in making a decision about whether the police officer should be prosecuted.
So the question was whether we can be confident that the Hennepin County Attorney can not have a bias in making a decision about this particular case. I think we've seen a very long history in this country of charging decisions being made that did not do justice to the victims, especially when the potential charging decision was against a law enforcement individual, and even more so when that law enforcement officer was white and the victim was black.
Now listen.
I've stated what I want to see. I am very hopeful that the evidence will be reviewed and a charging decision will not just be made, but there is a decision to charge. I'm not going to comment further than that.
What the fuck makes him exempt? Because he a cop? They just go. That's why so many cops murder their damn wives.
Before they were fired, internal statements at the very least, before they were fired yesterday.
I do not.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on how you make your decision that this man can be charged? I mean, is it something that's in the public domain that you saw? Is it something that everyone sees?
Did you hear her? Listen.
Sure. I'll give it to you straight up. So the question was,
Listen.
Can I elaborate a little bit more on my belief that the arresting officer
Should be charged. Really?
Yes.
Listen.
We watched for 5 whole excruciating minutes
Breaks your heart.
as a white officer firmly pressed his knee into the neck of an unarmed, handcuffed black man. I saw no threat. I saw nothing that would signal that this kind of force was necessary. By the way,
Listen.
that particular technique that was used is not authorized by the MPD. It is not something.
But he
officers
felt so
are
fucking
trained
comfortable throwing that shit up
and
on him,
should
didn't
not
he?
be used.
And being on camera in that same pose with no motherfucking worries. Like, I don't give a fuck, I'm on camera. Get the fuck back. You stood there on camera being taped in a position that's unauthorized, and you felt comfortable because of the color of your skin.
A member of our
When that shit gonna stop?
We're talking about split-second decisions. In so many of these instances, we are talking about 4 or 5 or 6 seconds, sometimes less, where a decision was made that tragically killed somebody and impacted a whole community. We are not talking about a split-second decision that was made incorrectly. There's somewhere around 300 seconds in those 5 minutes, every one of which the officer could have turned back, every second of which he could have removed his knee from George Floyd's neck.
He's already handcuffed. What else the
Every one
fuck
of
you
which
want?
He could have listened to community around him clearly saying that he needed to stop. Every one of which.
You can just put him in a car.
You heard George Floyd himself articulating the pain he was feeling, an inability to breathe.
This man is going to cry.
I can't see coming to a different answer.
Exactly.
And I think it's incumbent on all of us to say that.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. And he left that shit just like that. Ain't nothing else to say. Ain't no sense in trying to get me to clear my answer up or nothing. It was murder on live video. Who else couldn't fucking agree that the cop needs to go to jail? Who else couldn't agree? Who else could not agree? And this is the world we live in, the world we got to put up with. The world all the other countries are trying to come over to be like. This ain't nothing to be like. These people are nasty. These people are nasty. Now, on to a different topic. I mean, same topic, but opens up some questions. Now, as far as fake news goes, I'm not saying that's fake news. It was sad. I didn't even watch the video. I don't even want to get past listening to the mayor. He basically described it good enough for me, but I don't watch stuff like that anymore. It floods my Facebook channel. I don't even do my Facebook page like that anymore. I'm tired of seeing the partial racial wars trying to be started. It's always, always flood your Facebook pages with white cops beating on black guys, white cops coming in black neighborhoods, just cussing out people just because they can and shit like that. See, that'll make me, someone like me, start hating the white race, but that's not the whole race. You understand? So I can't hate the whole race. I can only dislike several. I don't know how everyone else is raised in their home, but I'm sure I'm sure other races teach their children about the black race in their home. I don't teach my children race at all. I remember when I realized I didn't teach my child race, my child came to me. I went to my girlfriend's house for the weekend. And then one day he comes up to me and he's like, Mom, when are we going to go back to your girlfriend's house? And I'm like, which girlfriend? And he's like, your peach girlfriend. She had the brown hair. We went to her house. She got the little red car. And I'm like, Peach? First thing I'm thinking is, who do I know named Peaches? And I don't know anybody named Peach. So I'm Peaches. So I'm like, well, Sean, what does she look like? He's like, she's Peach. She's got the brown hair. She's got blue eyes. And I'm like, Peach. And then I'm thinking somebody with blue eyes. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, the foundation on the face. Talking about my girlfriend, Kay, Caucasian. But I didn't teach him people are white and black. You know, that's not something I teach in my home. People are people. I care less about your color. So when I saw that, when I realized who he was talking about, I said, "Are you talking about Miss K? She working the daycare with me?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What color is she?" He said, "She's peach." I said, "She is." I said, "And what color? Am I black?" He said, "No, you're brown." And then I started showing him different things, and he wouldn't say anyone was white or black. I love that. To this day, my son is 300 and something pounds, 6'4", loves every race, loves all music. We love our Guns N' Roses. We love Skid Row. We love Linkin Park. We love it all. I don't think any one race is better than the other. And I don't like to separate things by race. But when you get on social media, they try to get you to look at everyone as separate. And I just refuse to do that. So what's going on in Minneapolis, I feel real bad for the mayor. I honestly, I mean, common sense, I feel bad for Floyd's family. We pray for them and hope that they find strength during this hard time. We pray for the mayor. We're not sure all that he can do. He's going to try, I'm sure, but he's got people over him that's probably not going to let things like that happen. That's why the cop, like I said, was so comfortable with even being taped in an unauthorized position. And on top of that, you killed someone in that unauthorized position. So that right there should be your downfall. I'm going to go back, check up and see some more updates and see what else the mayor's talking about. And I'll update this. I'll do another update later on in a few hours to see what's going on. AOQ4, thank you. And I apologize for crying, but I'm very sensitive. And I just, I hope that, I wish that everyone just really fucking got along. Like, you don't like your neighbor, stay the hell away from your neighbor, but all the killing and the divide and the power and taking power for granted. And, just this mess is crazy. Now, what I was talking about before, as far as fake news, we had some of these things already happen. And for instance, like I was with the Trayvon Martin case, I didn't even jump into that one. But one thing that I didn't like to see is his father on the Steve Harvey show in his Masonic uniform. That part threw me off, because then that looks like a Masonic order thing. And I kind of thought, okay, well, this probably is a sacrifice. And that's probably why Zimmerman didn't go to jail. And now see, things like that scream fake news to me. Zimmerman was a nobody. Trayvon Martin was a child, clearly minding his business, got killed by this man. It was showed and found that this boy did nothing and was killed by this man, and this man still didn't go to jail. Father shows up in a Masonic uniform on a Steve Harvey show. I don't understand what your Masonic uniform had to do with your son being murdered, but I caught on to that. Okay, so you showed you were pledging your allegiance to your Masonic order, so you got promoted, and that's understandable. And that right there kind of told me that you kind of sacrificed your kid. A couple of the kids being killed by cops, I'm seeing little things by their parents when they come on the news. I'm seeing little hints and clues and symbolism to where you're part of a Masonic order. Okay, so that right there says sacrifice to me. And understandable. Of course, no one's going to get arrested, because y'all did it on your own. So I'm still looking into that one. A couple more kids are being killed by police, and I'm still reading on those to see if some of those are Masonic orders. This one, it's just got to the point right now to where, like I said, I don't even, that's my Facebook. I don't even know if I want to dwell into this family part being it, or someone else will do the work and I'll find it on YouTube. So that's how I kind of, do these things now. I just go and grab, I just listen to everybody's stuff. And in the middle of like 20 people's things, you'll kind of hear the truth. And that I'll deal with. If I start seeing anything fishy with this one, I'll look into that. Like with the cop, we'll just wait to see if they get arrested or anything like that. So right now I'll go dig into that. And I'm not saying that anything is fake about this, but this is just weird that we get another white cop on black man, black citizen murder again. And just so happen we're in the coronavirus time. We're supposed to be social distancing. Just a whole bunch of stuff, and all this stuff wasn't even supposed to go down. I don't even know how 4 cops were called for, like he said, a counterfeit bill. Are you fucking serious? That doesn't even fucking happen. So so those things don't make sense. None of those things make sense. Counterfeit bill, it wasn't a counterfeit bill. Why did 4 police show up? How did he end up getting on the ground in handcuffs for a counterfeit fucking bill and getting murdered? So those things don't make any sense. But I'm sure we'll do some digging and find out and see what else is going on with that. So for the most part, I'll go dig around some more, see what's going on. If you're from Minneapolis or whatever, tell me what's really going around a police station. Is it really burning? Because the city, like I say, the photos that the cameras are showing from the news, you can't even tell if they're really in America or not. So I don't know. And like I said, on the side of the wall, it looked like it was some Asian graffiti. To me, that said Chinatown of something. I'm lost. I didn't know. I've never been to Minneapolis, so I don't know if there's a Chinatown there, or why would a police station have Asian graffiti on the wall? So that's why I said it doesn't even look like it's in America. So someone just, if you're there, if something's going on, really go ahead, because mainstream media is nothing to be fucked around. They tried to tell us somebody was protesting. I'm not sure if y'all saw the news article. This is I think last year, when they were trying to tell us that the airports were being attacked. Someone was shooting at the airports, and we saw all these people running across, and they're like, look, they're evacuating the airports, and come to find out it was a high school soccer team that was practicing on the field because they couldn't use their field that day. But see, they had us thinking, oh my God, someone's really shooting at the police station. And when you look, you even saw the coach walking with the clipboard, and they were all girls, and they all had shorts on with the same shirts. So the news can trick you and will show you something that's really not. Can show you a protest that's going on in Mexico and tell you that shit is happening at the hospital around the corner from you. If you don't notice the Mexican flags being waved in the air, you wouldn't know. But that's how media tries to get you. So if someone can send a real picture of the 3rd precinct in Minnesota and wherever city they're at in Minneapolis, and that it's really burning down, that would be nice to know, because media is not to be believed for shit. So stay tuned. If you like the videos, give me a kudos. I'm not really looking for subscribers. I'm just here venting. So I'm not trying to become a big old star, nothing like that. I'm just venting, and anybody else who has the same ideas or feels the same way as me, feel free to keep watching and throw some stuff down yourself. Have fun with it. All right. So thank you guys for your time. I'm still here at work. I ain't even had any customers. Thank you, COVID virus. So you guys cool out, and I'll be back in a few hours to let you know if I found anything else. Holla.